Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon. Guys, I'm a retired New York City police detective with 20 plus years of law enforcement. If you like all things true crime related from the police perspective, please hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you will get all things DutyRon when I go live or upload another video. Today, we're going to talk about a very sensitive case. So if you suffer from any type of PTSD or stress of any sort, and discussion of violent crimes upsets you, disclaimer, warning, judgment, use your best judgment on watching and listening to this video. Again, a horrific case out of Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. The Chippewa Falls police chief let out some information. Coroner's office has given a preliminary autopsy results of our young Lily Peters. Something that we already knew was going to happen, knew was going to be released. But before I get into that, I want to say a special thank you to the Patreon supporters, the channel members, and all of the folks who positively engage in this community. You are what makes this a great place. I want to say thank you to the moderators and everyone who watches the replays. I appreciate you guys. I tremendously thank you on behalf of myself and Ed Wallace, senior crime scene detective in the New York City Police Department, now retired. We both thank you very, very much. This is a preview of the show that we're going to do tonight on the forensic side of this investigation. But today, the coroner who is covering a case put out a preliminary autopsy results. They found that little baby Peters died of strangulation and blunt force trauma. Horrific, horrific, horrific. And we already know that the perpetrator, 14 years old, is a family member. And this is equally as horrifying. When we hear about this case, it is just, so beyond anything that we could imagine. You think of a teenage boy and a small 10-year-old girl taking a ride down a path, on a bicycle path, on a hiking path, going to take a ride home, and everything goes wrong. And we see in a statement that he made to the police in his confession, he stated that he had intent to commit this crime, which makes it equally as horrifying, is that he had the intent. He went out with the intention on committing these heinous acts. The most seasoned law enforcement professionals like myself, like Ed Wallace, like Sergeant Bill Cannon and Detective Phil Grimaldi, all worked homicide cases. Ed has investigated 3,000 crime scenes. Detective Sergeant Bill Cannon and Detective Phil Grimaldi, homicide detective sergeants. These never get easy for us. Myself, as a patrol officer, as someone who worked in the Fugitive Enforcement Division, I supplemented hundreds and hundreds of homicide cases by pulling in people that have criminal records and pulling them in to be questioned about the homicides. So I used to have to go out and grab up all of the pedophiles, all of the sex crime folks, all of the domestic violence, depending on what the crime was. I would go out with my team and rile up and bring in all of the people in the area where these crimes took place who have had a history of violent crimes. And we would go out and we would bring them in and question them. So you got to see a lot of these bad folks. These crimes, to even seasoned professionals like myself, are never easy to swallow. So it's not an easy pill to swallow, and it's not an easy thing to accept, because you say to yourself, we have evil that walks amongst us. And then we try to look for an explanation of why. Why does this happen? What pushes somebody to that point? And we come and we draw our conclusions. You know, this kid and the victim, this very evil uh, child, he wasn't born that way. He wasn't born that way, but unfortunately, his surroundings and the environment that he grew up in is what is what brings us to what happened on this faithful Sunday evening. So, you know, there's a lot of fingers that will be getting pointed going forward. There'll be a lot of things that people speak and say. But at the end of the day, folks, it's a crime that needs to be investigated and it needs to be looked at. All of the things that happened prior to this crime happening and leading up to the crime, it's the job of the detective investigators to figure out what kind of life did these two children have, what led up to that day, and all of the people who surround them, the parents, the aunts, the uncles, the acquaintances, the friends, the people who are involved in the lives of these two young children. You're talking about a perpetrator that's 14 and a victim who's 10. The people who were around them and why were those people around them. And we're going to look also as investigators to see why, in fact, were these children under the care of people who couldn't care for them, if that, in fact, is the case. So let me say quickly hello to everybody in the chat. Jen Lowe is here. Saylo is here. Black Rose, thank you for being a moderator and a great friend. Love and respect. Aunt Bibi, good to see you. Lieutenant Pete Pranzo. Jackie Thompson says, this crime is deeply disturbing. Amen. Tara, I agree 100%. I concur wholeheartedly. Jen Lowe, great to see you. Melissa Cicino, that's my good Irish friend. Good to see you. Fiberfloozies Crafts. Hi, Jill. How are you? Hi, Sarah Jean. Plant Lover is in the building. Good to see you. Girl Friday. Absolutely tragic. Dawn Marie, love and respect as always. A great, great friend and mod. Thank you so much for being here. Unsolved Crimes. Thank you for your always contributing and leaving messages. I appreciate you. North Florida Gary, thank you for that. You've dealt with these types of situations working EMS, and you're right, it's not easy. Yeah, it never gets easy. This is not easy. And if it's anybody says it's easy for them to handle, then they're not human. Good to see you, Richella Pranzo. Thank you so much for being here. Love and respect as always. Matty Boy Sully, thank you, Matt. Again, these are heinous crimes, folks, and no stone goes and is left unturned. Everything and anything is going to get looked at. Everything and anything is going to get looked at. What happened all before, during, and leading up to this crime. So that's what's going to happen here in this case. There's a lot of things that we don't know at this time. There's a lot of things that are being spoken about on the internet. Be careful. The internet streets are ugly, and rumors get spread, and some parts of the things that are spoken about are perhaps true. Some parts of the things that are getting spoken about are perhaps not true. So we have to be very careful about that. Fiberfloozy, thank you for that message. Fiberfloozy is a member for over 7 months, and she said, one wonders if this boy had a bad influence. Absolutely, Jill, 100%. Wholeheartedly, you wonder if this boy had a bad influence. And I have a feeling that drugs and alcohol addiction came into play in both sides of this family, is from what I'm reading and hearing. But we don't know because none of it has been confirmed yet. So we're going to wait. We're going to err on the side of caution to wait. But what we are going to do tonight is at 8:30 p.m., Ed Wallace and I, retired NYPD crime scene unit detective who's got 20 plus years in the investigative field. He was a crime scene unit detective. He's going to come on and we're going to talk about what it takes and how involved processing a crime scene such as Lily Peters' crime scene. The Chippewa Falls Police Department Police Chief Matthew Kelm has his hands full, and he has help from outside entities. This is a crime that needs to be aggressively investigated. Every T has to be, every I has to be dotted, and every T has to be crossed, because even with a confession, once defense attorneys get a hold of confessions, and there's a lot of my detective friends that watch these videos, they know this to be true, is a lot of the confessions, once the attorneys, the defense attorneys get a hold of them, they try to fight them. They try to say that they were coerced. They try to say that the client is 14 years old and he didn't know what he was saying. You may hear about that. And if that comes into play, that's where the forensics evidence that links this defendant, this 14-year-old perpetrator, this evil, evil child, you're going to see that the forensic evidence is going to link him to little Lily Peters through the autopsy and the process of the tox and the rape kit that's going to be done on her. Because remember, not only did he strangulate her and strangle her, he had sexual intercourse with her. That's what makes this thing so vile on so many levels. And we look at all of the people in the background, the parents, the step-parents, the aunts, the uncles, the friends, the family. Who are they associating with? When you look at that and you look at this crime, it's like putting pieces of the puzzle together. You put the pieces of the puzzle together, and who has to do that? The detectives. The prosecution gathers up all the evidence and presents it at trial. But the men and women in the detective field are the ones who are responsible to get those pieces of the puzzle and present them and put them out and give them to the district attorney. So tonight, 8:30 p.m., thank you, Jen Lowe, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Ed Wallace and myself will be live on Crime Time with DutyRon. I have linked down below in the description the live stream. It's already scheduled. You can go on to this live and look at the description. In the box down below, you will see a link for tonight's live stream. Make sure you hit the thumbs up on this one, hit the notification bell on the second one, and make sure you are present for duty. By a show of hands in the chat, who is going to be present for duty? Please put PFD, present for duty, in the chat if you're going to be there tonight at 8:30 p.m. I'm going to look at the chat and see what it looks like. PFD, only if you're going to be there. Don't put a PFD if you're not going to be present for duty. Donna Barnes, love and respect right back to you. Sana Alith Hulse Johnson, good to see you. Lori's going to be PFD. Ashley, Donna, Barbara, Girl Friday, thank you. I may be on replay. Thank you for mentioning you're going to be on replay, Girl Friday. This channel, thanks to YouTube, has been selected and granted super thanks. So not only can you send super chat during a live video like this, if you like what you see and you want to help support this community, you can not only send super chat while the video is live, but if you watch any one of our replays, Ed Wallace and myself's replays, you could leave super thanks. That's super thanks. It's a way to send an appreciation or a thank you and a support after the live stream is over while you're watching it on replay. I will get the message that you left super thanks, and it will leave a message in the comments down below, and then I will answer the super thanks by saying thank you. So super thanks is available now on Crime Time with DutyRon. I was very excited to see that. I don't know when it got enabled, but it is available for those of you who watch the replay. And if you feel like you want to give super thanks, it's there. It's a little heart. It looks like it is a heart, and it says thanks through the heart. And that message, you can make a message, any personal message, and you could send it You could send it while you watch the replay. Polygraph is going to be present for duty. Who else is going to be present for duty? Karen Newsom, Brittany Andrea, Lewis is going to be present for duty. Jenny Peach will be present for duty. Rose, of course, always present for duty. Tara Ellis, always present for duty. Thank you for the PFDs. Lieutenant Pete Pranzo, Richello, PFD, Richella and Pete. Everybody is logging in with present for duty. Florida Pete says, hope you're doing well, Ron and family. Right back at you, Pete. Love and respect, my good friend. Thank you so much. Florida Pete, great, great friend from Periscope. Always, always great live streams coming out of Florida Pete. If you want to see great sunrises and sunsets and everything in between, he's the guy. Thank you. It's 8:30 tonight, 8:30 p.m. It's linked down below in the description. Guys and girls, if you haven't yet subscribed to Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace, please consider hitting that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. If you guys can, while you're here now, could everyone please give this video a thumbs up? It helps with the algorithm. It helps to push our channel along and have YouTube send it out into the notifications. So if you can, I greatly appreciate it. The thumbs up is very easy to do and it costs you nothing. If you can, please share the video out onto your social media platforms. Tonight at 8:30 p.m., Ed Wallace, that's Eastern Standard Time, Ed Wallace and I. As you guys can see, I'm sporting my Gabby Petito Foundation hoodie. Hopefully you guys can see that good. So supporting Gabby Petito and her family with wearing her hoodie and things of all the things that we get from the Gabby Petito website, Gabby Petito Foundation I think it's .org. I'll link that down below. Brent Montgomery, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Brent Montgomery is always sending in photos, investigative tips, investigative tools. I appreciate that. Thank you, Brent. Doodle, thank you for giving a thumbs up and liking. Again, a lot of information, a lot of things to go over tonight. Liliana Peters reported missing on Sunday night. We know that Monday, early in the morning, her body was recovered. The Chippewa Falls Police Department, again, and the community was up and very, 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 very upset. Families, parents didn't know what was going on. They were being told to keep their kids inside, drop them off, pick them up from school, don't let them walk alone. It was a very, very tumultuous and scary time for that community between Sunday night and Tuesday when the perpetrator was taken into custody. A very frightening thing for any community to go through. But when you're a small, tight-knit community like Chippewa Falls, it is equally amplified, very amplified, as a matter of fact. So they were shaken to the core. So again, tonight we're going to go over everything that has to do with this case forensically. I think it'll be an interesting learning live stream. It isn't for everybody because it's going to be very detailed, and some of the content and some of the things that we speak about may not be for the weak-hearted. Robert Vogel, good to see you. Thank you so much. That is Princess Michelle's other half. I won't say better because she's the better half. Obviously, the ladies are always the better half. But yeah, this, again, tonight, this will be educational, but at the same time, it will be very graphic. So make a choice if you want to see it, you want to watch parts of it. If there'll be certain parts of tonight's live that maybe might not be for all the viewing audience. These are very important things that we need to discuss on how these cases unfold in the investigation, on the investigative side. Ed Wallace is just right up his alley for him to present all of the information to you guys. Eli Shot Mom 408, thank you for becoming a channel member. Much appreciated. Thank you. I'm going to scroll back and see if I can put that up on the screen. I don't know if it's gone already. I did miss it as I was talking. Oh no, there it is. Thank you so much for becoming a member. That green, on my screen it's green, but the folks who become channel members, you get members only live streams a couple of times, 2 or 3, 4 times. That depends on the month. You get members only live streams. You get exclusive content, and you get your private emojis and all the different little green fonts that you get when you become a channel member. It's a lot of cool stuff. So consider becoming a channel member. I greatly appreciate it. Guys, I want to wish everyone a happy Friday. These are horrific cases. Evil always walk amongst us. Don't forget, we're not in a time where you could leave your front door open anymore. I tell people, my neighborhood where I live, there's literally no crime, and I could leave my front door open. We're at a point now where I don't leave my front door unlocked. I won't, even with me, with my gun with me, I don't leave my front door unlocked. We all have to be very careful. There's no need to be paranoid, but you need to be very vigilant and steadfast. You need to be hyper aware of your surroundings at all times. There is a very high uptick in crime happening across the United States and across the world for that matter. These crimes happen all over the United States, but not just the United States. It's happening across the globe. So let's be careful. Let's be vigilant. Let's be steadfast. Let's always watch what you're doing and what's around you. Do not bury your head in a cell phone. Do not bury your head in one of these. Keep your head on a swivel and be careful. All right, guys. Love and respect from Crime Time with DutyRon. Anybody else have any questions quickly about tonight's show? I'll be happy to answer any questions. So the show tonight is going to be about the forensic investigation of this particular crime. No other crimes. We're going to be talking about Lily Peters. We won't be talking about the perpetrator. His name will not be mentioned by us. It's by a court order that his name should not be mentioned or put out there. We abide by the rules and regulations here. We're not going to talk about his family in depth. We're not going to talk about her family in depth. We need to understand that there is now a process of healing that needs to go on, and she needs to be laid to rest. But until that time, we'll talk about the police forensic side and the investigation in a respectful way. So I'll see you guys all 8:30 p.m. tonight. Thank you to all my super chatters. Thank you to the replay viewers. And now, thank you in advance to anyone who gives super thanks. Instead of super chat, after you watch the video and it ends and the replay starts, you could give super thanks. And I'm going to say thank you in advance to everybody and anyone who gives super thanks. Love and respect to each and every one of you. As I like to end all of these, God bless the world, God bless the United States of America, and God bless each and every one of us here in the chat, and all victims of crime and their family, but especially Lily Peters. She needs us now more than ever. Let's pray and send strength, prayers, and positive vibes to whatever good she has in her family, the good folks, and the community. There's so many good people in the Chippewa Falls community in Wisconsin. Those people are also victims, and they're all going through a big emotional distress right now. So let's send those folks in the community, the good, law-abiding, loving parents and great people of Wisconsin and Chippewa Falls. We send them strength, prayers, and positive vibes. Peace from New York. We'll see you tonight at 8:30. I love you all. Thank you.